So, just a couple thoughts that are rattling around in my brain since yesterday. So, we have the two deals, which is good. We need three a week times 4.33, like I said, to hit our goal of $100,000 in the first month here. Something I was thinking about though is that path to a million, and essentially there's like four doubles away. That's what I'm thinking about it as. And there's like four levers to pull. So, one is price, right? You can increase your price, which is actually the best lever to pull because you don't have the increased operational drag associated with the other levers that we'll get into in a second. The idea there is like if we're at 8, we can get it to 16. Bam, double the revenue. The next one is capacity. So doubling the capacity of the team. So that would be increasing the number of reps because that's important. The next one would be throughput. So into that capacity. And then the fourth one would be efficiency for getting the most out of what we're currently doing, if that makes sense. So the order of operations matters here. Technically, the highest leverage one, like I said, is the price one, because if you increase price, you don't necessarily increase operational drag. However, in order to do that, you have to go up market, more done for UE, and then it needs to be a different avatar, essentially, because that's the plan. I was watching some Cole Gordon podcast or whatever, and there's a few insights there that we kind of already have touched on, but they're like, oh yeah, well, you have to frame the messaging around that avatar, meaning like you don't want to be like, hey, yeah, quit your job and like, are you a busy corporate professional? Like kind of what we've been doing. That's more mass market B2C. If you want to go up market with people that have the deployable capital, then it's like framing it around, hey, do you want passive income? That is going to be, or like, do you want an asset that cash flows? So exactly what I was talking about already, but it was cool just to hear that out loud from somebody else and have that validated, because the interviewee, he was on the podcast. He had like a biz op, and then he moved into his own thing, and it was like a $30,000 package and 5-year contract, something crazy. He's like, yeah, if I do 3 in the first month, like, dude, we're good. That's a good month. And he did like 26 or something. And it just shows like how limiting the belief can be around on money. So there are people that are able to deploy that if you frame it right and actually have a lot of value. And I believe we're able to do all that. So in order to do that, though, we need to have like case studies and metrics and guarantees, all of that, and the workspace live. That way it's point and shoot. So it's actually an AI income property to justify that price. So right now, the goal is to get the people in at 8K, get some case studies, get some real math behind it, set up some conditional guarantees where if you do this, 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 and this, and you still don't win, we'll give you your money back. And we'll just set it up to where it's just unreasonable for them to fail. If like they send 100,000 emails over the course of 3 months and they work every single lead and they attend and they listen to the training and they still can't figure it out, then yeah, I'll give you your money back. So that's one lever, but we have to do it in sequence. It's the easiest one to pull, but I don't want to unlock it until we have a couple things in place. Like I can start the messaging for that avatar, yes, but I can't charge that price yet, if that makes sense. Because then they're gonna be like, okay, if it's $25,000, dude, like what are the metrics on this? But if I go to that avatar and say, hey, listen, it's only 8K, we're raising it to 25, we're just getting case studies, and just be honest, I think that works. Like, hey, this is the reality. So that's AI income property. That's the first lever we're gonna pull, because then we're able to do it without increasing the operational drag. The other levers, like increasing capacity, that's later. That's getting more closers. And there is another capacity adjacent one, but it might fall into the efficiency bucket, which is something really obvious, I'm sure. I just haven't done it before, so I don't know how to do it. But I notice I fill up my calendar and I can get like 6 calls on my calendar. But the way that we have the automation set up, they have to confirm their attendance, and about 50% of those get wiped off. Problem with that, though, is now I have a calendar that's booked out with no fresh leads to put in. Even though it's not really booked out, half of those are going to be people that don't confirm, and then we remove them from the calendar anyways. So that's a constraint right there. Because honestly, if we're able to actually have 6 show somehow, then we just doubled right there. You see what I'm saying? Like it's another double. And not only that, it's a double for me and my closer. So we should do that. Meaning I could remove myself have him take 6 shown calls a day, and the business would stay the same. So that's why it's kind of important to figure out that double. But I'm sure there's some software or whatever, but you're seeing me figure it out live. If anybody knows, do tell. What else? So the other levers are throughput. That one breaks stuff, obviously. That's operational complexity and drag, but luckily, not really. Because if we deconstrain that first constraint, what I was talking about, and like the capacity of the calendar / efficiency, like I know they're in similar buckets, because capacity in my mind would be, no, I guess it's just throughput through the system. We need to be working the leads better. So that's the probably the first lever we're gonna pull. That's what I actually did, is like, hey, dude, instead of like taking a bunch of fresh leads and spending a bunch of money, stopped bleeding on front end, lowered the throughput as a result of stopping the bleeding, which is really working out super well. The throughput's too low, but that's fine because we're forced to work those leads. So kind of like the sequencing of events, I'm seeing all these levers that I can pull. We're 4 doubles away from something really cool. So first thing, we're going to double the efficiency of the leads that we're working to get them to show up. That's why, because we haven't done that at all, and we could easily double that. We're going to work the leads better to get more bang for the buck. So that's efficiency. We haven't been doing that at all, and that's going to help us. Next one is I'm going to figure out that capacity thing with the no-shows and see if we're able to get 6 shown on the calendar. That way, when people want to book, it's not full when it's really fake full. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we'll increase throughput here. Kind of just going to do all 3 at the same time, it sounds like. We're going to do all 3, which are all the hard ones, like I just said. And then we'll raise price last, because we already raised price. Like we went from 6 to 8 already, and that's so. If we work the leads better, we get capacity solved, and then fill that calendar with the adequate throughput. Get the case studies. It might be a belief thing. Maybe I could just charge $25,000, but I don't know. I think you have to crack the messaging on the front end before we even pull that lever. Like I have to get on the call with somebody, and they're like, "All right, what is it? 50 grand?" And you're like, "Oh, it's 20." And they're like, "Oh, sure. Of course." So those are the things that I'm thinking about. Those are the levers that I think about pulling. Yeah. Those are the big ones. So what we're doing today, we have some onboarding calls. We're going to get that deposit solved. We got some sales calls. Our closer has some new sales calls. So he's going to be getting his feet wet. And then, just some emails, community stuff. And then it's Friday. I'll turn my brain off for a little bit to then go dungeon mode tomorrow, where I build the outbound department with AI from scratch. Yeah, I got to work on the MCP for Go High Level. That way people can run their agency from one spot. I need to, honestly, I was thinking about creating a skill that just audits your own business and then tells you how you could automate it with AI. Wouldn't that be easier than me? Because like I had a comment this morning from the guy that I sold yesterday. He's like, yeah, like I know we're like selling services, but I'd love to automate my business more. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Maybe that's a skill for it's like just, hey guys, copy and paste this prompt. But yeah, so just to recap, 4 levers: price, throughput, capacity, efficiency. That's kind of how I see it, right? Per unit that you put into the system, make it give you more. You squeeze it harder, you have throughput, I don't know, or capacity. Price, how much each person is worth to you. Throughput, how many people can you get through the system? Capacity, how many people can you process without breaking stuff? Efficiency, how hard can you squeeze the efficiency of the system so that each person actually converts into cash? Business. And then just double each. I'm going to double my price, I'm going to double the throughput, and I'm going to double the capacity, and I'm going to double the efficiency. And that's 4 doubles. What does that put me at? That puts me at, let's just call 2 sales a week right now. Conservative. It's 2 times 4 is 8. It's $64,000 in a month. Okay. But we double the price. Boom. That's 128. and then we double the capacity and the throughput at the same time. We'll clean it up. See you guys in the next one, because obviously I thought I felt better, but maybe not, so see ya.